sorry. I think I may have gotten a little off topic there. It's a long story, so it's hard to keep on track without leaving out any details.
Why? I clutched my hands tight, as I continued to do during Megumi's recollection. I could feel my hands going white, and my nails threatening to break my skin.
Hideki, what do you mean, why?
What do you think I mean? Why would a person like that, why would anybody do such a horrible thing to another human being? Why would your parents choose to live in grief rather than be thankful for the daughter they still have? Why would the police ever let an inhuman monster like that out of prison? What? Just why? I screamed at Megumi as few tears began streaming down my cheeks. My face was hot, and I had no idea how awful of an expression I was making. Even so,
Hideki?
Megumi just smiled at me. After telling such an emotive and depressing story, after seeing my face riddled with anguish and empathy, Megumi smiled.
I wish I could tell you, Hideki. I don't know why my parents feel the way they do, and I hope I never have to find out. I don't know why Mr. Kitsune was let go either. With all of the evidence stacked against him, it seems inconceivable that he would get out of prison, let alone teach again. Honestly, I don't think I can answer any of your questions. I simply don't have the answers. Even so, thank you, Hideki.
Huh? I don't understand. Why are you...
Hideki, when my sister died, I thought my life was over. I thought that I would never smile again, that I had nothing to live for. Further to that, with even my parents shunning me, I was truly alone for the first time in my life. I was devastated, isolated, exiled. I desperately craved the attention, the warmth of another human being. And the moment I laid eyes on you, I knew you were the one I was waiting for.
Megumi continued to smile, not hesitating in the least to speak such embarrassing lines.
I know it sounds corny, but I truly believe that what I experienced was love at first sight. As time went on, I thought that feeling would fade. I thought I realized that it was just physical attraction, or that I was mistaken. And yet, the more I learned about you, the stronger my feelings grew. Hideki Naito, a pure, innocent, kind, helpful boy who's fun to be around. Someone who can go at my pace, yet can take control when things go wrong. You put up with my selfishness, yet you've never been afraid to speak your mind. You softly reprimanded me, making me want you to scold me all the more. And then finally today, you cried for me. You defended me when I needed you most. You got angry for my sake. You cried over the pain I felt. You listened in silence as I told you everything. Hideki, now more than ever, I'm absolutely certain that I love you.
Damn it, Megumi actually made me like her a bit. Megumi. From start to finish, Megumi happily confessed her feelings. Her teary eyes, blushing cheeks, and smiling lips all filled me with uncontrollable anxiety as I returned her loving gaze with quiet shock. However, knowing that I couldn't remain that way forever, I gave her the only answer I could think of. Oh, no, Without saying a word, I took Megumi in my arms and stole her lips. She was surprised at first and almost jumped back, but as soon as she realized what was happening, Megumi forcefully returned my embrace. Her soft lips pressed hard against mine, leaving no space between us. I could feel every inch of her warm body pressing up against mine. Even Megumi's heartbeat was clearly felt by my body, beating wildly as she tightened her grip, unwilling to let go. But as she squeezed the air from my lungs, I had little choice but to go against her. Whoa, calm down, Megumi. Let's breathe once in a while, okay? I know I was the one who started it, but still.
I'm sorry. It's just, I've dreamed about this for so long. I guess I got a little too excited.
You've dreamed about us kissing?
Yes, among other things.
Uh-oh, not good, not good. If she starts saying those things while our bodies are pressed up against each other like this, Megumi is bound to feel my...
But that isn't what I meant.
Huh?
What I mean to say is, I've dreamed about my first kiss, about my first boyfriend. It's not that rare for a high school girl to think that way, I know, but for someone like me, cast away from everyone she cares about. Honestly, Hideki, if I didn't have you, I don't know what I'd do.
Megumi? So that's how it is. I kind of figured from her story, but I understand now why Megumi has been so clingy and friendly. For someone who has lost everything, it's only natural that she'd be so desperate for companionship, whether in the form of love or just friendship. And yet
Hideki, what's wrong?
Megumi, I need to apologize.
You do. But you've done nothing wrong, Aki.
How I wish that were true. Megumi, the truth is, I couldn't stand you.
Huh?
This is going to be hard, but after Megumi's been so honest with me, I owe her the truth. Megumi, from the moment we met, you've been loud, clingy, and had serious boundary issues. You invited yourself over into my house, you misled people, my mother included, into thinking we had a relationship. At times, you even pushed my other friends away. Even so, I did like you, so I convinced myself that after we started dating, you would change. You wouldn't be so needy. And yet, by the summer break was over, I couldn't wait to get away from you.
Hideki.
Megumi's voice cracked a little as she spoke my name. That's why, when you were in so much trouble by that, when you were so troubled by that man, I didn't notice. I didn't notice the harassment my girlfriend was enduring, and all I could think about was my own damn freedom. I was honestly relieved that you were depressed. If it meant having you tone down everything, I thought it would be for the best, but that was unbelievably selfish of me. I should have told you straight how I felt. I should have just been honest with you from the start. Instead, I kept deceiving you, pretending that everything was all right. Right up until the moment I burst in here, it's just been one deception after another. I've been the worst boyfriend ever, and that's why I'm sorry for everything I've done and everything I failed to do. Megumi stared at me silently as I finished speaking. The same silence I so craved not so long ago. A fantasy when Megumi was present filled the room. But with the next word to be spoken likely to be an expletive or a condemnation, perhaps silence would do for the best. Even if I've hurt Megumi, we couldn't continue like we were. She needs to know the truth, no matter what the cost. I only hope that she can find it in her heart to forgive me.
Is that so?
Megumi looked at me with teary eyes, trying her best not to cry. Her lips quivered as she spoke, and I could see her hands trembling by her sides. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, Hideki. You've done nothing wrong. I was the one forcing myself on you like that.
No, that's...
Don't deny it. I know how unreasonable I've been. If anything, I'm glad you told me that, Hideki. After all, I need to know these things if I'm going to become your bride.
Huh? Megumi, I'm glad you can still joke like that, but...
I'm not joking. I know I've said and done a lot of stupid things, but I've never lied about how I feel about you. Besides, even if you didn't like me in the beginning, or you started to resent me, all that matters is how you feel about me right now. And whether you say it or not, your lips have already told me everything I need to know. At any rate, Aki, even if you've made some mistakes, I'm hardly in a position to judge. Neither one of us is perfect, and I love you all the same.
I don't... I like Megumi a little bit more. Megumi's tears had dried up, yet her face remained flushed and red. Despite the ease with which she said such things, her embarrassment was obvious, and Megumi looked like she might collapse at any minute. After the emotional roller coaster she had been on, and her physical hardship had endured, Megumi needed to rest, and even if she hadn't yet realized it herself.
So, where do we go from here? If that was a breakup kiss, I'm going to demand a do-over.
Smiling like her old self, Megumi showed no sign of her previous dismay as she continued with her usual humor. Is that so? And if it wasn't?
Then I'm going to pay you back in turn for you taking my first kiss.
So, we're kissing either way.
Isn't that a given? When couples have a fight, they kiss and make up. Isn't that how it goes?
Actually, I have heard that saying. Of course, even if that wasn't a real saying, Megumi would still use it to her advantage. And just this once. This is adorable. It's so cute. I'll gladly let her. Oh. Ignore. That was interesting. Alright, class. That's all from me. Please prepare for your next lesson. As our first class for the day ended, as our first lesson, not Mr. Kinsuna anymore. As our first class for the day ended, so did our time with Mr. Kinsuna. Although he now teaches several subjects, today we only have him for one class in homeroom, making the day an easy day to sit through. But better yet, oh, and Megumi, could you? Nope.
Nope.
I don't know why I said that. Megumi has learned to stand up to Miss Kinsuna once more. Megumi.
That's Miss Hinohara, Sensei.
Miss Hinohara, I understand that you have things to do, but first...
Sorry, Sensei. Student council work awaits me. Though if you need help that badly, I'm sure you can find some other volunteers in this class, right, girls? Yes, absolutely. I'll help out. Count me in. Let us help, Sensei.
No, that's...
Hey, don't be stingy. If Megumi can do it, so can we. That's right. Or is Sensei saying that we aren't good enough?
No, it's not that. I just...
Great. Then let's go then, shall we?
Dragged by each arm, Mr. Kinsuna was forcefully escorted out of the classroom by two of the girls he had charmed on his first day. He glanced back in desperation, only to see Megumi smirking and waving goodbye.
Worked like a charm. I'm getting pretty good at this, if I do say so myself.
No kidding, Mr. Kinsuna never knew what hit him.
It's his own fault for being such a charmer. And now that the hindrance is gone, there's no one left to get between me and Aki.
Megumi, we're still in the classroom, you know.
So what? What does that have to do with anything? You didn't think I was alluding to something perverted, did you?
Of course not. You would never do that. Of course, I can feel that sarcasm from across the room. Just how much of a pervert is our class rep?
Hey, I'm not a pervert. I just have a healthy interest in Hideki, that's all.
Don't you mean you have a healthy interest in sex? or in the other gender?
Nope.
Never mind, I'm out of here. I came over here because I thought you two were having fun. But not that kind of fun. Yui, wait, it's not what it looks like.
Perhaps I misjudged Yui. It seems she knows better than to get in the way of our flirting after all.
Oh, Megumi.
What? Did you want Yui to join in? I think it's a little early in our relationship for a three-way.
Oh, Megumi, just stop it. Well, I can never unhear that. I know that for a fact. I know that for what I'll be thinking of when I go to bed tonight. Megumi and Yui. Oh.
Hideki, what's with that creepy grin on your face? I love you and all, but seriously, you're scaring the children.
Oh, jeez. Did I just get called creepy by Megumi? The girl who stalked me crept into my bed, hugged me in our first meeting, and went through my underwear. Just called me creepy.
Anyway, I wasn't kidding about that student council work. I know it's only a short break, but try not to miss me too much, okay?
Sure. I'll just make sure to do... I'll just make do with your photo until you get back. Okay. Am I the only one that's wondering, are we just gonna let the whole murdering pedophile teacher thing slide? Anyway.
That's the spirit. Make sure to keep it PG, okay?
I knew it! Just go already.
Later.
Megumi happily skipped to the classroom, wearing a delighted grin as she giggled the entire way to the student council room. What a handful. Megumi's calmed down a fair bit recently, but given her period of near desperation, even this much feels like a natural disaster. What's happening? I don't know what's happening.
Please, happy ending, please, happy.
I feel like if there's two endings, we haven't gotten to the decision yet, which scares me because it tells me something else is happening. With other school days having passed by without incident, I slept with welcome ease, plagued by not a single negative thought. Between the uninhibited excitement Megumi showed during summer break and the depression she began to suffer under Mr. Kitsune's reign, restful nights like last night appeared to be a thing of the past. I thought for sure that my life would henceforth be dramatic event, one after the other, spurred on by my relationship with my stalker/class rep. But since the moment Megumi confided in me.
Good morning, Hideki.
Megumi has seemed like a new person. Good morning, Megumi. I see you remembered your pills this morning.
My pills?
Usually you'd have jumped me from behind, screamed in my ear, and given me a heart attack by now. But the fact that you haven't means that you must have remembered your meds.
Hey, I did those things out of love.
Her love of scaring the living daylights out of me?
At any rate, those days are behind me now. I told you already, didn't I? I'm done pretending to be someone I'm not.
Since Megumi resolved to stop living in her deceased sister's shadow, her behavior has steadily changed. She's been more defiant, particularly towards Mr. Kinsuna, more soft-spoken and mellow around others, and even less domineering. Thanks to Megumi's decision to turn her life around, I finally have a sane girlfriend. I told you, alright? I wasn't sure what you meant, but you definitely told me.
That's right. So, how do you like the new Megumi? Or rather, the old Megumi? No, the real Megumi.
Oh my, looks like we're having an identity crisis now. I love the old, new, real Megumi. She's everything I liked about last month's model, but the most of the bugs are sorted out.
Bugs?
Now that's a problem. I realize that Megumi isn't into video games, but to not even know what a bug is, that's basic computer terminology. Or maybe it's because in Megumi's vocabulary, the term bug refers to something to secret recording devices. Never mind. I was just being a smartass. The point is, I love the new you, Megumi. Deciding to be your true self is the best decision you've ever made.
Oh, Aki, you're a sweet talker. If you weren't at school right now, I'd just eat you up.
Well, that's one part of Megumi that hasn't changed. Not that I'm complaining.
But that'll have to wait till later. Right now we have a double date with some textbooks.
Oh, yeah. After all the things about herself Megumi could have changed, why was her passion for schoolwork spared? If we have one more self-study session together, I think I'm going to cry. Our first 3 classes for the day passed by quickly, providing little amusement and interest to the present. But we all kept our eyes on the textbooks, paid attention, and never provoked nor caused any problems for our teachers. It was just another regular day in the life of a regular high school student. It's strange to think that I'd missed days like this. I used to crave excitement, hoping for my boring school life to somehow change, and for things to become interesting. But after the drama with Megumi, not to mention Shinatsu's disappearance and Shira moving away, I think I'd rather live a boring life after all. While students continued to leave the classroom, I kept a cautious eye on our teacher, Mr. Kinsuna. If there was one person capable of wrecking Megumi's peace I so craved, it was him, the very man responsible for ruining Megumi's life. But even as Megumi bid me goodbye, and as she headed for the student council room, Mr. Kinsuna showed no sign of approaching her. Throughout the lesson, he didn't call on Megumi at all. He didn't address her outside of calling her on roll. He didn't ask for her help and generally seemed to be avoiding her. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he'd actually given up. Ah, Hideki, a moment, please. Just as I prepared to leave for the classroom myself, Mr. Kinsuna approached me. Yes, Sensei? Mr. Natoi, I was hoping I could speak to you in private for a moment. He wants to speak to me in private? Sir, I'm flattered, but I don't swing that way. Mr. Natoi, I'm being serious here. And so am I. I even have a girlfriend. I'd ask if you wanted to meet her, but she seems to hate your guts. Mr. Kinsuna sighed as I refused to play along. Actually, Natoi, your girlfriend is the one I want to talk to you about. I'm shocked. Please, Mr. Natoi, I need your help getting through to her. Miss Hinohara hasn't been acting like herself lately. As a teacher, I'm worried about her. You see, like a decent, responsible young man, I was hoping you could help you kill her. Mr. Kinsuna's eyes widened in shock at what I said. The knowledge behind my words was something none of the students here should know about. Bar none, a random student from his class should have no idea about his past. But as Mr. Kinsuna embraced who he was speaking to, his eyes narrowed and he regained his calm. So she's telling people that, huh? I really will need to talk to her. Mr. Konsuna mumbled underneath his breath, too low for me to hear. He seemed angry yet in control, quietly deciding upon his next course of action. Sensei? Oh, right, Mr. Natoi. Please forgive about our conversation just now. I won't require your assistance at all, after all. Uttering those hurried words, Mr. Konsuna returned to his desk, grabbing something from the top drawer, before he finally left the classroom.
No! No!
Oh, we haven't got the happy ending yet, Miss Michaela. Now is the time to start panicking. Following Miss Konsuna's abrupt departure, I contemplated my final classes for the day in silence, and school came to an end. Megumi and I walked back to my house together, swapping roles as she escorted me home safely. I protested at first, saying that I should be the one to see her off, but knowing Megumi's legendary obstinacy, I never stood a chance.
Well, here we are. Home sweet home.
Yep, for one of us, that is.
For now. But our time will come, Hideki. Just wait and see.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my stop, so...
Aren't you going to invite me in?
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Huh? Invite you in at a time like tonight?
Why not? I promise I'll be quiet. Your mother will never even know I was here.
It's scary to think how many times Megumi could have been here without my knowledge. But sleeping over on a school night would be bad, right? So, some other time, maybe?
Saturday it is then. I'll make sure to wear my sexiest underwear.
You do that, Megumi.
You do the same, okay, Aki?
Megumi's sexy... I bet she's bought us underwear by now. I bet she's probably... yeah. Wait, no, this isn't what I...
Sweet dreams, Aki.
By the time I had gotten my mind to the gutter, Megumi had already begun to walk home. I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
On that night, despite my recent inclination to go to sleep early, I found myself wide awake. Hours passed by as I stared at the ceiling, trying to fall asleep. I closed my eyes, tossed and turned, and did everything else I could to think to fall asleep. But no matter how hard I tried to clear my mind and rest, a single thought lingered in my mind. Is it really over? Although Mr. Konsuna had backed off once Megumi started to fight back, I couldn't help but feel that he wouldn't give up so easily. Earlier today... I know what you're laughing at. Earlier today, we had tried approaching me instead, trying to use me to get to Megumi. Would he try it again? Would he use some of Megumi's classmates to lure her out? Would he invoke my name in order to solicit a reaction from her? Those worried thoughts kept running through my mind, eating away at me as I finally began to slip away. Watching as the last few lights went out in the target's apartment block, a solitary figure walked patiently in his car. He bided his time, gazing through a pair of binoculars and into the window of a single apartment. The subject of his curiosity had already gone to sleep hours ago, leaving him to watch an empty house as he waited for the right time to strike. I managed to avoid prison last time, but I don't have the funds to make that happen again. I need to do this right. Mr. Konsuna turned his sights toward the bundle of rope and gag, both sitting in his car's passenger seat. Taking both in his left hand, he opened his door and exited his car, slowly making his way towards the target's apartment. Just you wait, Megumi. Tonight, nobody will get in my way.
Shit, son! I'm so mad!
Oh, man, what a drag. It took me forever to get to sleep, and when I finally did, nature calls. Half asleep, only dragging my feet along, I made my way back from the bathroom and into my bedroom. As I flopped back down onto my bed, however, even as I closed my eyes, I noticed a disturbance. On my desk was a flashing light, made many times brighter by the darkness surrounding it. Who would be trying to contact me at this hour? I swear, if this is Ryo. I begrudgingly got up from my bed and moved over to my desk, squinting my eyes at the bright display of my phone lit up. Nothing from Ryo. I guess he gets to live for another day. No text messages, incoming calls, but 3 missed calls and 1 voicemail from Megumi. I selected the voicemail and pressed my ear against the phone, causing a familiar voice to play.
Hideki, please help me. He's here. He's at my house.
Megumi's voicemail ended, taking with it the last of my fatigue. Even without giving me a name, her quiet yet panicked voice told me everything I needed to know. I opened my eyes wide, staring at the time stamp of the voicemail. That was almost 2 hours ago. Oh no, Megumi! Without bothering to change clothes or even put on shoes, I ran from my house faster than I would have thought possible. I sprinted down the street with a single thought in my mind, desperately running towards Megumi's apartment. Damn it, I knew this wasn't over! I should have played along with Megumi's request and let her stay over. I should have warned her about my earlier encounter with Mr. Kitsuna. Now, because of me, Megumi is... I made it to Megumi's apartment block in a record time, ignoring my ragged breath and weary legs as I sprinted up the staircase. I ran straight to Megumi's apartment and threw the door open, unlocked, letting myself inside. Megumi, where are...
Oh my goodness!
There you are, Aki. I was beginning to think you wouldn't make it.
As I screamed Megumi's name, a familiar presence appeared before me. Standing in front of me was Megumi, the girl from whom I received a distress signal 2 hours ago, holding a knife in her hand. And at her feet was... Is that...
Is that what? Speak a proper sentence, Aki.
I held my hand over my mouth as I suppressed the urge to vomit as I looked down at the bloody corpse at Megumi's feet. Though his face was scarred and bloodied, shredded until a lump of flesh could no longer be considered a face, the body in front of me, without a doubt, belonged to Mr. Kitsuna. Megumi, this... What happened here? I don't understand.
Aki? What's wrong? Why aren't you coming closer? You don't have to be afraid. He can't hurt anyone anymore. I made sure of it.
Megumi stared at me with blank, listless eyes, as though the corpse at her feet didn't mean a thing. She just kept clutching the knife in her hand, prepared to hack and slash whoever dared walk through the door. Megumi, put down the knife, okay? You said it yourself, right? He can't hurt anyone anymore, so why don't you just...
I wish I could, Aki. I really wish I could.
Megumi's smile disappeared as she tightened the grip on the knife. What are you talking about? You don't need that anymore, right? So put it down and we can...
Damn it, Aki, I'm telling you I can't. What do you think will happen when I do, huh? This thing will just disappear? That none of this will have happened? This isn't a joke, Hideki. This thing at my feet is a prison sentence. I killed someone, and now I have to pay. I'm a murderer.
Megumi began to wave the knife around as she spoke. Though most of the blood had dried a long time ago, specks continued to fly off, painting her kitchen a deeper shade of red.
Because murderers need to be punished.
Don't kill yourself. Megumi's voice reverted to a whisper as she looked towards the corpse at her feet. Don't.
He needed to die, Hideki. The man who killed my sister needed to die. But now I'm just like him. I committed the exact same sin. So if death was the only thing he had to look forward to, then...
Oh. Megumi's grip loosened, but she still failed to drop the knife. With nothing but death on her mind, a fresh corpse at her feet, Megumi's options were limited, and there was no idle way out. Megumi, you can't mean that. You were just defending yourself, right? You had no choice. This is nothing like what happened to your sister. You aren't even remotely similar to that scumbag.
Even if that's true, I can't live like this. I'm a killer, Hideki. The thing I hated most. Even if he deserved to die, it wasn't my decision to make. Whether people forgive me or not doesn't matter. This is something I'll have to live with for the rest of my life. There's no going back from this, Hideki, can't you see? No matter what I do, my life is over.
No, that's not true. You should...
What should I do, Hideki?
Well, this will basically decide the fate of the game.
Oh my.
So, I mean, I would think turn yourself in, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't think run away with me. Ugh. What about Mom? What about poor Mother? I mean, you turn yourself in, it should be fine. I don't really... You should turn yourself in.
You want me to turn myself in? But then
You said it yourself, right? Oh, murderers need to be punished. And how are they punished is not your decision to make. Those are your words, Megumi. Now, are you going to stick to them? Megumi looked towards the corpse at her feet, silenced by my words. Although she kept holding onto the knife in her hand, her grip loosened, and she no longer showed any inclination to actually use it.
if I turn myself in, then...
You'll be arrested, you'll face court, you'll be sentenced. You'll pay for your crime in a matter determined by the law.
Alright, I'll do it. I'll turn myself in.
A smile returned to Megumi's face as she made up her mind. Although it wasn't an outcome either one of us wanted, we both knew that it was the only way out. Even if Megumi thinks she deserves to die, I'm certain that the court will find it in her favor. Okay, he was making, the way he said it, he was like, I want you to go to jail.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to jail forever. But no, like, logically, it'll be okay. Megumi's sister was killed by that man, and she suffered immeasurable psychological damage by his hands. Add to the fact that Megumi was defending herself from an intruder in her own house, there's no way she'd be convicted. As I optimistically thought about how Megumi's life would turn out, she took a step forward.
Hideki, one last thing.
Stepping over Mr. Kitsuna's corpse, Megumi took another step forward, now standing stationary a few feet in front of me.
Before I call the police, I'm going to take a shower.
Although unexpected, Megumi's words made sense to me. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll just close the door and...
Join me.
Join you? Megumi, I'm relieved that you can joke at a time like this, but...
I'm not joking, and I'm not taking no for an answer.
Okay. She does have a knife after all.
If this is to be my last night of freedom, then I don't want to have any regrets. Come with me, Hideki, and let us become one at last.
Is it really the time? Is it really the time?
No, I would not be
Are you
in
gonna
that
wash
mood.
the blood
I
off?
would not be in the mood.
Are you gonna wash the blood off first or after?
Oh my goodness.
Without even thinking about, I grabbed Megumi's hand. That was covered in blood. I didn't say anything. I couldn't, even if I wanted to. Alright. Well, is there anything after? Maybe. There's something after. Over many months since Megumi killed Mr. Kitsuna, my life had taken a series of unexpected events. Right by her side, as Megumi called the police, I was taken to the police station as a witness to her crime, and consequently asked to give a statement and collaborate Megumi's story. We were separated for a while, with Megumi spending her nights behind bars as a suspected killer, and me being sent to counseling because of what I had seen. A full moon went by before I had even seen each other again, and even then it was only in passing as I showed up to the court. Megumi's trial began soon enough, but the actual proceedings took several months. Despite being open and shut case, with both a witness and a confession, the jury remained divided on what her punishment should be. Megumi told the court how he had broken into her house and how she was just defending herself. She knew he was the killer, given that what had happened to her sister, and she wasn't going to take any chances. But the prosecution claimed that it was an opportunistic killing. They claimed that she knew ahead of time that he would be visiting, and she abused this to take revenge. Fortunately, although Mr. Kitsuna had indeed faked documents ahead of time to explain why he had Megumi's apartment in case he was caught, this time of death and security cameras both placed him at the scene very late at night. Finally, I showed the court the video I had taken of Mr. Kitsuna harassing Megumi in the student council clubroom, and there wasn't a single juror remaining who thought she was guilty. That scared me for a second.
Yeah.
Today, 7 months after Megumi was taken into custody, she has finally been found not guilty. Megumi will still need to attend counseling, and will be forced to regularly report into the local police station to verify her whereabouts, but nonetheless, she is a free woman. So now, On our first day back in society, Megumi and I will be meeting once again, an event which we were both beginning to think would never happen. We won't be able to stay together long. Even after being found not guilty, Megumi still has responsibilities to the court. But for today, just seeing Megumi as a free woman will be enough.
Ooh, she's so cute.
By the time I arrived at the cemetery, Megumi was already there. Kneeling on the ground and praying, Megumi remained vigilant in front of her older sister's grave. Of all the places Megumi could have gone to celebrate her freedom, she chose to visit Hitomi's grave. Even if Megumi had decided to stop living in her deceased sister's shadow, I guess Hitomi will always be a part of Megumi, whether she likes it or not.
He told me.
Despite the brave face she had initially been wearing, Megumi soon showed her true feelings. Discarding the facade of an always energetic, smiling, happy-go-lucky schoolgirl, Megumi let the tears stream down her face without hesitation, allowing her tears to fall freely onto her sister's grave. Megumi. Taking Megumi in my arms, I held her tight, wishing I had the power to put an end to her tears. Although she jumps back slightly at the sudden embrace, Megumi immediately realized who was holding her and returned to mourning.
Hideki, my sister,
Megumi tried to speak, but unable to form full sentences through her tears. She just wiped away the tears and mucus from her face, trying once again to communicate.
Hitomi has always been buried here, and yet until now, I never came to see her, not once. But when I was in custody, when I was in court, when they were accusing me of killing that man for revenge, I realized they were right. My sister Hitomi, she never deserved any of this. She was so kind and gentle, she wouldn't hurt a fly. But as for me,
Megumi's tears continued to flow, but her voice remained steady. She had something she wanted to say, and she was going to say it, even if just through willpower alone.
When that man showed up, I killed him. I didn't injure him, I didn't maim him, I didn't warn him. The second I saw his face, I just lost it. But now that he's gone, now that I can face my sister, I think I can put all of that behind me. Even if they're both gone, I'm still here. We're still here. And from now until the day I die, as long as I have you by my side, that's all I'll ever need.
Oh!
Yes! I
Oh,
knew it!
God! I like Megumi now, and
I knew it!
well, there we go, guys. That pretty much concludes all of No One But You, except Ryo, and I'm not going to do that one, even though it's tempting. I'm not going to do Ryo's route. But a big thank you to Michaela here as being our guest commentator for Megumi. Give her some love in the comments, guys. She did a great job, and it was really fun. But anyway, guys, that was really fun, and I think I will see you back on the prowl in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye!